Over. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Goff, a handoff here to Swift. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. A third down now, and those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And that will be incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And the numbers for the last drive, and he was perfect, which maybe isn't surprising because he has not missed a pass in this game yet.
And it lets you know just how precise things have to be for a quarterback to be perfect, because that means the line's blocking really well, no one's dropping any of the passes thrown to them, and the quarterback is accurate. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game, isn't it? He's the principal guy, but he needs a lot of help.
Time to find out if he can keep that perfect game going here, partner. Carr now on 1st down. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Carr. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Play action. Now it's Carr. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. And now a whistle and a timeout called by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. They'll go for it. It's Carr. Forced out to his left. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you, If people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Once again, it's Swift. And a good job by the Raider defense yet again as they drop him for a 2nd straight loss. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Here's Goff. Had his his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here comes the Lions punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us? No luck, just pure skill. We rose to the challenge, and we didn't permit a score. That's how we roll.
I'm kind of curious, Charles, if they might temper their aggressiveness now offensively if they get in that 4th down spot again.
Yeah, one would think so, but maybe because they held them, they might go for it again.
The tackle made there by Jared Davis.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
That's caught. It's DeMarcus Robinson. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 45-yard line. A gain of 22.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Open man, that's Renfro. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs taking it in from the 20. And the Raiders will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the 4th quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one. I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit. But going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, I mean, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
Well, the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards.
That was awfully nice. Hit him in stride, and off he went. It was almost like the ball hitting him was like him receiving a baton, and he was running the anchor leg in a relay race.
From the red zone now, Goff. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up a second down in just a couple. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Looking to throw again on second down. Goff, and he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Bilal Nichols picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
Seibert's kick is good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier, and this time there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Second down, Jacobs once more. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Carr going to try and throw on third down. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 50 yards rushing for him now to this point. And this offense on third down today, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Gets past one man. And oh, he leaped over him. Had a little bit of daylight. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs, 57 yards.